My name is Peter, and welcome to another video about sailing vessel Silverheels, My Rhodes 22. This video is going to be another in our series about boat projects here in the spring of 2018. Today is May 1st, so it's been 3 to 4 weeks since my first video, which was done in the workshop, and not a lot of progress has been made, I'm sorry to say. April has been a very wet and cool month. One of the things that did happen, though, is we got a new cover for our bimini. The old one was looking kind of ratty, and so we found a guy about 2 towns over who does canvas work, and we just got this back a few days ago. He wanted to have the boat in his driveway when he sized up the bimini top. So that's looking pretty good, I'd say. But now for work that I need to be doing, I think the first thing we're going to do is to put that cabinet in the head. I showed you that towards the end of the previous video. And that's going to be a tight fit. And I think in order to get it in place, I'm going to have to take the mast support down inside the cabin, which means that we first have to take the mast down. I just put it up, of course, but we'll just take it down again. All right, the mast is down, and we've got the head ready to receive the new cabinet. Now, the one thing I want to point out here is we have this hose, which is a new addition, and it's to ventilate the sea head. So if you watched my whole video about the installation of the sea head composting toilet, you may recall that I decided I was not going to ventilate it in the hopes that it wasn't going to be necessary. But after a couple seasons of use, I think it will benefit from ventilation. The moisture level inside the bucket is higher than it should be. So we've got that tube, which was supplied, came with the sea head toilet, and that's going to run under the galley cabinet base, and then up into a space that's, well, kind of in the cockpit, but not really. So you're now on the cockpit floor, and where that tube is behind this wall. So it the way it runs, it doesn't offer any path for water ingress into the cabin that wasn't already there. So I don't think I've compromised the integrity of the boat at all by doing this. And where that's going to attach to the sea head is on this fixture I made on the back. There's a computer fan that's in here, and we have the electrical leads for it, and it's going to get clamped. The hose is going to get clamped right on here. So and this is going to be hardwired directly into the battery, because I want it to run all the time. And so getting back to the subject of the cabinet that's going to go in here, it's going to rest on the two things that kind of look like baseboards down there, and then it will be screwed into the V-berth bulkhead and the galley bulkhead for additional support. So here is the basic carcass for our head cabinet. There are more components that will get added to this, but we're trying to keep the weight down to make it a little easier to get it in and out of the boat and maneuver around in the tight spaces. So next step is to get this installed. So here is the cabinet installed, being held in place by a couple of screws at the moment. As you can see, one of the situations we're dealing with here is that the galley bulkhead is not actually parallel to the V-berth bulkhead. So we'll need to fit some spacers in there, I think, just to trim that up a little bit. And speaking of trim, we've got a lot of other trim pieces, some additional shelving and the like that can be attached now. Oh, here is a power wire for the C-head fan and the vent hose coming up through a hole in the bottom of the cabinet. And there is the head cabinet with all of its trim pieces installed. The dividers and shelves I made out of some half-inch plywood that was just hanging around, and, well, I didn't bother to finish them. They won't be very visible, and I'm not 100% sure that this is the final product, so we didn't bother. I guess we'll take one more look at this. So here is the head area with the C-head installed. Just to give you a sense of the space. And there's the, well, it's kind of dark in there. There we go. There's the hose for the ventilation. As to what's going to be stored in here, I think I know, but that'll have to wait for another video, I think, somewhat later in the season.